Thanks, Melanie. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Reverend Paul Beckel. Over the next few weeks, we'll be exploring a cycle of active hope described by environmentalist and poet Joanna Macy as beginning in gratitude, honoring our pain, seeing with fresh eyes, and going forth. A cycle which can be a path of resilience and liberation, especially in a time of environmental crisis. Today, let's begin with gratitude. Next week will be more about grief, honoring our pain. Then the following weekend, please come if you can to our congregational retreat at Beautiful Lodge on Silver Lake. Our retreat leaders, who are deeply grounded in the work of Joanna Macy, will be guiding us through an experiential process that will involve all 4 steps in the cycle, along with music and food and camaraderie and opportunities to bask in nature's glory. At coffee hour after the service today, I think, hopefully somebody can confirm, somebody will be downstairs taking registrations.
I will.
Fabulous. And providing more information as needed. Can be stay for the day, Saturday, or you can be overnight on either or both nights. And whether you can make it to the retreat or not, the following Sunday, that's 2 weeks from now, our retreat leaders will be here leading us on the Sunday morning service through that whole cycle. As we begin today in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow, let's acknowledge that this is the traditional territory of the Lummi and Nooksack peoples. Let us nurture our relationship with our Coast Salish neighbors and honor our shared responsibilities to this land, water, sky, her flora, creatures, and mysteries.
Being grateful comes from realizing that you are receiving a gift. The gift might be the sharp edge of the knife that is cutting the bread for you, or it might be the invitation to say some words at the Sunday service. Or it might be that feeling in the air on sunny days in September or early October. It involves noticing and opening to what you notice and receiving. It's a way of connecting with the world. Right now, I am grateful for the attention you are giving me and the opportunity it creates for us to connect. Thank you. Please join me in saying our covenant. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant.
So let's please join me, stand and sing number 128, For All That Is Our Life. And I have a story now for you littles. Could you hold the mic for me? Many thanks. So this was written by a Native American chief named Jake Swamp. You will get to know a little bit, or maybe even a lot, about what Native Americans and who Native Americans are as you grow up learning about the Lummi and Nooksack peoples around here. But I just wanted to tell you where the story comes from, because the author makes a point in the beginning to say that this prayer of thanksgiving is what the children in his tradition are taught to begin every morning by saying. To be a human being, that is to be a person, is an honor. And we offer thanksgiving for all the gifts of life. Mother Earth, we thank you for giving us everything we need. Thank you, deep blue waters around Mother Earth, for you are the force that takes thirst away from all living things. We give thanks to green grasses that feel so good against our bare feet, for the cool beauty you bring to Mother Earth's floor. Thank you, good foods from Mother Earth, our life sustainers for making us happy when we're hungry. Fruits and berries, we thank you for your color and sweetness. We are all thankful to good medicine for healing us when we are sick. Thank you, all the animals of the world, for leaping our precious in our precious forests and keeping them clean. All the trees in the world, we are thankful for the shade and warmth you give us. Thank you, all the birds in the world, for singing your beautiful songs for everyone to enjoy. And we give thanks to you, gentle winds, for bringing clean air for us to breathe from the four directions. Thank you, grandfather thunder beings, for bringing rains to help all living things grow. Elder brother sun, we send thanks for shining your light and warming Mother Earth. And thank you, grandmother moon, for growing full each month to light the darkness for children and sparkling waters. We give you thanks, twinkling stars, for making the night sky so beautiful and for sprinkling morning dewdrops on the plants. Spirit protectors of our past and present, we thank you for showing us ways to live in peace and harmony with one another. And most of all, thank you, Great Spirit, for giving us all these wonderful things, so we will be happy and healthy every day and every night. You might not remember all those words, but all of us can remember every once in a while when something stops us that we notice, we can say thank you for the chance to see you or hear you or smell you or taste you or feel you. So think about that as you go off to your classrooms. And we're going to sing you a song. Shall we endure some routine announcements? Nah. Instead, let's explore together now some opportunities to put our principles into action, to go out, to come in, to pay attention, and to respond however it is that each of us best responds with gratitude and enthusiasm for the circumstances at hand. For example, every Sunday morning is an opportunity to welcome visitors. So I do, and I hope that you will come to coffee hour after the service where everybody else can welcome you. That goes for you on Zoom as well. Please stay after. You will be unmuted and you'll have a chance to chat with one another. Also during coffee hour with refreshments, there is an exhibit of unseen art forms. So many thanks to Pam Graham and Jan Cabot for putting this together. Please go down to enjoy what they have curated. One last thing, we've been talking about chairs in the sanctuary, where, how many, which ones, etc., especially how many. We're going to have a couple of discussions about that, and as a democratic society, we want input. So this Thursday on Zoom, so it's just on Zoom this Thursday night at 7, And there will be details with the link in our midweek update, which you can get on buff.org. There's also an in-person conversation next Sunday morning at 9 before the service. So Drew has an announcement too.
Thank you, Paul. I'm Drew Betts, and I'm a member of the board, and I'm also the one who's shepherding, I call it shepherding, the rummage sale, also known as the regifting, pre-holiday regifting and repurposing your treasures sale, because we don't want junk. We want wonderful things that you have decided to let go of and make space for in your life for the sale. We have our very first day of sign-up table today. When you go down and see the beautiful art that is displayed, look for us over by the windows, and you have an opportunity. You say, I don't really want to volunteer. Well, you could donate, you could attend, you could sure help get the word out and invite your friends and neighbors. We have a lot of categories that we've decided. I really want to thank Susan, Rose, Joe, and Jane so far who've joined in the planning. We just keep working at it. Many hands make light work. It's not an easy thing. And one of the things that we really have a need for is media publicity help. I am not a very good social media person. If anybody likes social media, if we have a graphic design, any age person who'd like to digitize a poster for us and something that could be added to the social media world, we would really love it. So get a hold of me. I have information sheets of all the things that we need in terms of volunteers and the items that we're accepting. You can take that home and think about it, or you can just sign up on the spot. Thank you. The date? Oh, the date is November 11th, Saturday, November 11th. And the 10th is a holiday, a state and city holiday, and we will be setting up that day. So we have a big setup, needs for setup, and then the sale will be 9 to 3 on Saturday. So we need people to set up, receive, organize departments, cashiers, clean up, greeting, lots. Thank you.
And buy, of course. Thanks, Drew. And those details will also be in the midweek update. Let's settle our minds and our hearts now. Let's get so tranquil and alert that if those around us are not at peace, our collective peace, empathy, and feeling of connection will continue to radiate within and beyond these walls. Even if not all of us are grounded, maybe we go in and out from moment to moment, we hold one another together. Let this be a moment now of quiet, loving kindness, a moment of mindfulness, observing what is real in our immediate presence without judgment. Just noticing. It's not perfectly silent. We hear some squeaks. We feel some warmth or cold. Maybe taste our own tears. Let's experience all of those without judging whether it's good or bad. It's just real. It's where we are. So let's spend a few minutes now together in mindful silence.
And as we continue reflecting on gratitude, let's remember that gratitude does not have to arise from our experience of anything wonderful. Gratitude can accompany a simple mindful awareness of what is real without judgment, scrutiny, or demand that it be different. And I guess I can put this up there now. That might be easier. Thanks. Most frequently, and maybe this is just for me, I'm called to gratitude by serendipity. I suppose each of us has different triggers to return us to the serenity of gratitude. When good things happen, when bad things happen, but it could be worse. When we've been given a gift, when we have the opportunity to give a gift. When we discover that we've been given something long ago and have been enjoying it, not ungratefully, but not consciously either. All of these apply to me, but serendipity stands out because coincidence, seemingly random and yet requisite incidents, observations, opportunities, these serendipities contain an element of delight, even when they're uninvited. The needle poke of serendipity often gets me when gratitude shines through moments of deepest sadness. Here comes one. Be with me. For example, my father-in-law, Mike, died about this time last Sunday morning. Mike Brunt, Buff member. Deep grief and a lucky coincidence, I thought, that others had already been scheduled to lead the Sunday service. How fortunate that I'm part of a tradition in which it's no big deal for me to be away, because there are so many other voices, messages, and methods of expression and attention to our principles. So many other ways, and so many of you willing to explore questions of how to be resilient and hopeful within our beloved community. That I'm part of a tradition in which I'm allowed, expected, as are all of us, to be human, vulnerable, complex, interdependent, and aware of our need for one another. Gratitude is not just an individual feeling or experience or point of view. It's communal. Just as grief is communal. If we are honest about our inescapable interdependence, then not only gratitude, but experiencing loss is also communal, and seeing with fresh eyes is communal, as is going forth, that whole cycle. In this way, then, empowerment is also communal. Gratitude is not just an inner, independent experience or private feeling. Gratitude is a social emotion that flows to and from. It is a generator of renewal and a practical element for gathering allies. All who come here in a spirit of goodwill are welcome. And I have felt the goodwill of so many of you this week, responding with love to Mike Brunt's wife, Mary Jane, and their daughter, Jane, my wife. This has been a week of grief and consolation, nostalgia and humor, some of it sentimental and some just strange. Some more serendipity. 2 weeks ago, the last time I was standing here, I preached about kids these days, and I spoke about intergenerational interdependence. We closed with the song, We Laugh, We Cry. I've always cried when we sing that song, so I'm always grateful that we sing so strongly together so we can fill in every other word when the person next to us is struggling just to take a breath or even chirp. We Laugh, We Cry is unflinching in its evocation of birth, our brief time on earth, and the inevitability of death. That morning, Jane had called to ask her parents if they'd be joining us here at Buff. So that was 2 weeks ago. Mike died last Sunday. This was the Sunday before. Mary Jane said, no, your dad's a little under the weather. None of us expected anything. But serendipity can be anticipatory as much as retrospective. I think not sure how to describe it, but there are connections that we see into the future. Serendipitous, random yet requisite bits of reality that we can connect to now, from to. Your dad's a little under the weather. None of us expected anything, but he got worse. Let's stop for a moment now. Stay seated, and let's sing number 391. Actually, you don't need to. You may look in your hymnals, or the words will be up there. Let's just stay seated and sing it through twice.
Still
Gratitude can arise in the quiet or in the grand and glorious. It can be in response to a gift or an awareness of a blessing. We can be thankful without any reference to a thing or a sensation or experience. We can just feel gratitude without needing a cause. That's deeply real. Maybe just because. Thanks for everything. Thanks for nothing. Thank you. Not that it's not okay to be grateful for material things. Sometimes we have to start small, concrete, immediate things, to see and hear and feel things that we might overlook. Please take a moment now to think of some ordinary things in life that serves you. Bees, nail clippers, the stripes in a parking lot. Are there any things in your life that you'd give an extra large tip to for exemplary service? The smell of a baby's head, the belt holding up your pants, photosynthesis. I'm grateful for things like traffic signals. They can remind me to stop and say thank you. I'm grateful for yard waste recycling, antidepressants, comprehensive sexuality education, and 911. Let's take a moment now to name out loud. Name stuff, material things to begin with, that nurture or delight you. You on Zoom, at free reign, you can yell out as loud as you want. But you too, quiet, loud, doesn't matter. Just the first thing that comes to mind. How about some places now? Some intimate places or wide open places? Sacred places, homes, habitats. With 100 of us doing it at the same time, we can cover for those around us who are hesitant and quiet. So cheer, cry, laugh, sing notes of gratitude for people. Someone now living for whom you're thankful. And how about loves that have been lost, that enriched your life? Let's name skills or qualities or virtues that you own. Surely there's more. Call out thanks for a journey or a vision or a goal. How about times of rest? Healing. Call out your thanks for memories, second chances, and third chances, for projects, hobbies, tools, energies that you bring to your projects. Thanks for challenges. Something predictable. What are you thankful for that's predictable? How about something unexpected?
Rain.
How about something beautiful? And something plain? something sour, something old, and something new, and something far away. Something right now that you can see or feel or touch or taste. Think of a moment of forgiveness. Might be hard to put into 1 or 2 or 3 or 17 words. A moment of forgiveness that you're thankful for, or a moment of forgiving. Moments where you've set a burden of anger or set a burden down, allowed yourself to forgive. How about limits? Shadows? Teachers? Mysteries? Miracles? Take all the time you want, catch up with some of the ones I was mentioning before. Names, places, challenges, teachers, mysteries, miracles. It's a lot. Some of our gratitudes are individual, some are shared. Many are interdependent. Many things, people, places, depend on one another to even exist, as do we. In the same way, gratitude calls us as individuals and calls us as beloved community to pay it forward. And I'd like to present an opportunity now to do just that, to pay it forward. We have a collection each month for a organization that does good work in this community, puts our principles into practice that we want to support with our finances, and they also present opportunities for volunteering with organizations as well. So Norma Suarez is going from the Immigrant Resources and Immediate Support is going to be sharing information about that organization's good work. And I invite you to give generously after.
Actually, 2 of us. So I'm Lita Sanchez, and this is Norma. So good morning, and thank you so much on the theme of gratitude for inviting us into your space. We're deeply grateful for your support. And my name is Lita Sanchez. I'm going to speak a little bit about IRIS as the founder, and this is Norma Suarez, our wonderful executive director, who's also going to provide you with some case examples and the kind of work we're doing. It's hard to do it in 5 minutes, so we'll do our best, and if you have questions, we'll be around after. So IRIS, we have a twofold mission. We support the urgent, unmet basic needs of immigrants in times of crisis. And we also seek to connect them to other resources in the community to help set them on a path to stability. And what we do is provide temporary bridge assistance. Often it takes very little to get some stability and connection for these families and allow them to then thrive and flourish. IRIS was formed out of a very informal effort. My day job is I am an immigration attorney, and I work a lot with families seeking asylum who are fleeing terrible, terrible circumstances. And in the course of my work, I would encounter families, and even if I was addressing the legal needs and doing that, on a pro bono basis, I would learn of their situations, and it was just impossible to go home and sleep at night, knowing that, this mom is living in a church with her 3 kids and going to be living in her car. They don't have diapers, they don't have food, they don't have warm coats. So my daughter Mia is here with me today, and she will remember many weekends of, let's get in the car and dragging her and her sister to buy space heaters and food and, deliver some of these items that were much needed to families. We serve individuals in our community who are falling through the cracks, who are otherwise unable to access services a lot and who are marginalized. A lot of the individuals we work with are Indigenous, and there are just layers and layers of barriers that are insurmountable at times for them to navigate the system. And so we try to, again, provide some immediate relief in their situation and then connect them with other amazing organizations. Eventually, after calling on neighbors, and my garage was like an informal donation center for a long time. I really saw a need for an organization that would work with these individuals and remove some of the barriers that exist for larger organizations to reach them at times. A lot of the people that we would work with, as soon as they would stabilize a little bit, they'd come back to me and say, how can I help? I want to give back. And at first I'm like, you're just barely making it. You're working 3 jobs, you have 4 kids, you're studying English, and they wanted to help and return some of the favors. So Iris, and actually one of our board members is one of our first recipients. Iris was created as a 501c, and we have grown rapidly. We're still small. We were all volunteer run for many, many years, and now we have one staff person. We just hired our second part-time staff, and we have Norma. And we are constantly dealing with demand that's difficult for us to meet, and housing is a huge concern as well. We are sort of flooded with the need that we see every day, but tremendously grateful for the support that we've been able to get through our partners in the community, and having relationships with other organizations has been really key, because we don't seek to duplicate services that are out there, but we also are able to respond very quickly. Our response is pretty rapid, and we will get calls from school districts and other people in the community who are, hey, this family's homeless, they're seeking asylum, we don't know what to do, and we're able to get in there very quickly. We do serve families that were recently arriving and fleeing difficult situations, but also a lot of community members that we serve have lived here for years, but they're living on the brink of or below the poverty line, and something happens in their situation, and they're, as a medical travesty, or there's another emergency, or they're fleeing domestic violence, and all of a sudden that's enough to put them in a situation where they're struggling and they're homeless. And so we try to, again, serve those family members as well. So they're not all recent arrivals. We serve immigrants from many diverse backgrounds. More recently, we've had more Ukrainian families. We've had a surge in Venezuelan families. And again, we don't discriminate against background. It's really just the urgent needs. And recognizing that, as many of you may know, I recognize some of these faces, and I know that you're connected to this cause, but this country doesn't provide assistance for individuals who are fleeing, seeking asylum. When they first get here, a lot of mothers, for example, with their children, they come with nothing but the clothes on their back and their children, but there's no ability to get a work permit. There's no assistance. There's nothing in that gap. Typically it can be a year before you can get on your feet, and we don't offer anything through our programs to help. So that's where Iris comes in as kind of a filler, and we're doing our best to keep up with that. I don't want to take all the time. I want to hand it over to Norma so she can provide a few examples of the kinds of families that we've been working with recently, and take it away.
Thank you. Like Lita was saying, we serve immigrants, asylum seekers who fall through the cracks. And one of the reasons they fall through the cracks is because, oh, doesn't matter. Thank you. I can hold it. It's because, thank you. It's because they don't have access to food stamps. They don't have access to any type of assistance from the government. And many of the organizations that are there to support people can help them because, again, they don't qualify. They don't qualify because they don't have status. We recently served a mom of 3 children. She had a baby via C-section. the baby had some health issues, needed to be in Seattle, and during that time, the husband got deported. So we got a call, and they said, can you reach out to them? We did. They didn't speak English. They didn't speak Spanish. That's another point that we have Mixteco interpreters, volunteers. So we were able to finally talk to them, and what she needed the most was food, because she no longer had food for her and her kids. Because again, she does not qualify for food stamps, and she doesn't have access to transportation, and she lives out in the middle of Sumas, in the middle of nowhere. So we were able to provide food. We drove out there with a volunteer, and we took diapers, and we paid for rent. And we were able to do it again immediately. And that's something that helped her relax a little bit and be able to go see her child in Seattle. Another thing that sometimes is just on the verge of like the brink of going to homelessness, we had a father who was the main sole breadwinner with the family, who the doctor said finally after 3 years of putting his medical needs on the side because he couldn't take off time from work, because he doesn't qualify for sick days, he doesn't qualify for vacation days or any type of assistance like that. The doctor finally told him, if you don't get the surgery, you're gonna die. And finally the father said, okay. And we were able to step in there, help pay for rent, diapers, and food for the family. And again, I know I said it, but these are the families who don't qualify for food stamps. And at times, they don't have transportation to go to the food bank. And if they go to the food bank is getting a lot better, but they don't have access to the food that they traditionally cook with. So that's something that we're seeing here in Whatcom County a lot. Kind of Lita mentioned a little bit, we're seeing a lot of asylum seekers. From November from last year to right now, we have seen over 25 families. And we say 25 families, but sometimes with that family unit, it comes mother, child, and father with a cousin, the cousin's husband, and another child. But they come in as a family, right? But it's actually two. But we have seen over 25 of them. And we have seen a shortage of, and some of you have talked to me already, there's nothing for them because they don't have access to anything. They don't have rental history. They don't have a work history. Who's going to rent to them? Who's going to support them and support them in a way that to help them move forward? And that's where we come in. Sometimes we're able to pay for a hotel stay. And during that hotel stay, we support them with food. So, thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Lita and Norma, thank you so much for the work that you do. And again, I urge you as the ushers come forward, and if you're on Zoom, there will be information on your screen of how to give. If you are writing a check, make it out to Buff. We will collect them and forward the total amount to Iris. If you want to make a check specifically to Buff, be sure to put something in the memo line about that. Any loose cash will go to Iris.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Gratitude can be simple and quiet, it can be boisterous and loud, it can be individual, it can be communal. In all cases, it is liberating. And in the spirit of all of those, let's join hands in a circle to circle around for freedom.
Goodbye.